I'm pleased to welcome Zachary Taylor. He is the director of the American Recyclable Plastic Bag Alliance. Welcome to Tipping Point, New Mexico, Zachary.
Hey, good morning, Paul. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you're here to talk about the latest in the plastic bag saga of the city of Albuquerque, something that the Rio Grande Foundation has worked on and been quite frankly frustrated by. Of course, the thin plastic bags are a thing of the past in Albuquerque. Then thicker plastic bags that somehow were supposed to be better for the environment were introduced, and now uh, so-called loophole closing by the Keller administration is going to result in those bags going away. Uh, Zachary, tell us why this latest move by the Keller administration is not a good idea.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. ARPBA represents the U.S. manufacturers and recyclers of plastic bags here in the United States. And so we try to be a resource to elected officials across the country who are, working on bag policy. And what you're seeing here is the new definition they want to pursue goes from the previous bags that were allowed, which were 2.25 mils thick, certified for 125 reuses and 100% recyclable. They want to move now to a different definition, and they want to define a reusable bag as a bag that is 4 mils thick and has stitched handles. And what the research out there says is that that's not actually not the most sustainable way to approach this. And part of the reason being is that those stitched handle bags, the ones that are available for $1 or $2 at checkout counters at grocery stores throughout the region, they're all overwhelmingly made from plastics as well. Plastics like woven and non-woven polypropylene or PET. For more expensive varieties, you can get nylon and polyester as well, all the way up to cotton. And what life cycle assessment after life cycle assessment has shown is that those bags have greater environmental footprints because they require more energy and resources to manufacture. More emissions are involved in their transport from overseas and to stores. And so that's sort of the balancing act here. And most importantly of all, for the ones that are made of plastic, these reusable bags with stitched handles, they can't be recycled anywhere in the United States. So this change really has the city of Albuquerque moving from a reusable and recyclable option to bags that have a greater environmental footprint and cannot be recycled, which to me sort of misses the mark.
Yeah, the whole thing, in our estimation, misses the mark. But what's the deal with stitching? That seems like a very odd way to draw the line between approved bags and unapproved bags with regard to this rule.
Yeah, we've seen that in a few places, and it's becoming an increasing way for folks who are pushing bag policies to go after bags that they don't feel are reusable. And those are the 2.25 mil bags that are certified scientifically to withstand 125 reuses. And whether or not consumers choose to reuse them 125 times, the bags that they want to go after here can be recycled, whether they're used once, twice, 10 times, or 125. And so it's a definition that's really focused on aesthetics, not reusability. And so we really urged them to consider changing course here, because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to ratchet up the thickness standard and then also mandate stitched handles when the science shows that these bags have a greater impact on the planet because of what they're made out of and because they can't be recycled.
And you mentioned in your press information that you're shifting, or not you, but the city is shifting from bags that are typically made in the United States to bags that are imported from some of the worst polluting countries on the planet, like China and Vietnam. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's an important point. That's really what stitched handles means. Obviously, for years, as a result of offshoring, the U.S. has lost most of its textile industry. So if you're a bag or any other product that's got stitching in it, it's probably going to be made and coming from overseas, places in Southeast Asia, where a lot of the, as we know, when it comes to ocean plastic, the river systems in Asia and Africa account for an overwhelming majority of that as well. And so on the other hand, the 2.25 mil bags and the traditional thin gauge grocery bags that folks remember from the past, those are overwhelmingly made here by Americans across the country, and they're overwhelmingly collected and recycled here too.
Now, our position is that the government, the city of Albuquerque, and just looking ahead, the state of New Mexico, should they engage, should just get out of mandating plastic bags and telling us what to use or not use. Is that your position as well?
So, as an industry, we care deeply about the environment. We care about the planet. And the first thing we'll say is if you don't need a bag, don't take one. If you are going to take a bag and you take a recyclable plastic bag, that's great. Take it home, reuse it, either, pick up after your pet or line a waste paper bin, or bring it back to the store and recycle it. We think, ultimately businesses, and particularly right now with rising prices, need flexibility to offer products that meet their consumers' needs. And again, the unintended consequences that policies like this can unleash really just demonstrate how they're just a little bit off base.
All right. Well, if we want to share more information about this issue from your organization, how can we do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Folks who want to learn more should visit our website at www.bagalliance.org. That's a place to find a lot of good information. Some of the life cycle assessments I discussed today that really do demonstrate that when it comes to bags, the plastic bag is the one with the fewest environmental impacts, as long as it's disposed of properly.
All right. Thank you, Zachary. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate it.